We're rolling.
We're rolling.
Rolling.
Well, eve of BB5.
BB5. What's up, fellas? Got my boy Jeremy here from Canada. He's my teammate this year at BB5. And we're going up tomorrow against Parker and Brian.
It's going to be a tough game.
It is going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. The reason for this video is there's actually several reasons. A is want to go over the timers going to be used at the event. We want to go over the your etiquette on playing, what's expected of you. Not only on playing, but being in my home, what's expected of you. We need to go over parking. And there's a couple of rules that have come up that people think they have loopholes, but let me tell you, there is no loopholes. You just got to read the rules correctly. So we're going to go over that. So I guess we'll start with the easy one. We can start with parking. I made a nice little
you made a diagram.
I did. I made a diagram when you were felting the tables over there. Okay, so I'm going to walk to the camera. Now, my neighborhood does not like people parking on the street. It's frowned upon, which I understand. I don't like seeing those cars out there either. I can get 14 cars on my driveway if you do it correctly. Okay, my driveway is 150 feet. If I give you 20 feet per car, I can get 7 lanes. Okay, now what we're gonna do, the first 3 people that park, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3. This is the house right here. And this is a tree line. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3. That one car is already gonna be there because that's me. So when you see my car there, next person who gets here is gonna go 1, 2. Then after that, you're gonna go 4, 5. Okay, then you go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On the street right here, instead of just like parking right here on the street, there's a telephone pole or power pole. That is my property line. From here to here is almost 70 feet. So minus this, we're like 60 feet. 4 cars within 60 feet is giving you 15 feet per car. Cars aren't 15 feet wide, so you should have plenty of room to pull in. You're gonna pull straight in. It's a little bit of an incline, but I tell you, if my BMW can do it, your truck can do it. So over here at the telephone pole, start there. You're gonna pull forward. Next person's gonna pull forward. Next person's gonna pull forward. Next person's gonna pull forward. Okay. There is my water meters right here. I'll put something on there to make sure you don't drive on it. So again, just redo it again. My driveway is 150 feet. Okay, you don't have to go bumper to bumper when you park. It's a good average car, 16 feet. I'm giving you 20 feet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't think we have 14 cars coming, but this is where I would like you to be. All right, and my mailbox is on this side. It says 186. So if we can do that, that would be great. The neighbors will love you. I'll be happy. And no one will have to move their car in the middle of the event because we are not stopping timers for you to move your car because you parked in an undesignated area. Okay? If your car starts to get towed off, not my problem because I told you, this is how we're parking. All right, next.
Next item was...
Next.
Was it dice?
What was, we did forget to mention that, but dice, go ahead.
So dice, Siren's gone out of his way to make color dice, 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. And he's got some other regular dice on the table. But to make it consistent so there's no confusion, other people bringing hit dice, and you got 3 different colors rolling for 2s or whatever. So please leave your dice at home. All the dice are here are provided. And
because you don't bring your own football to the Super Bowl. It's provided for you.
And the other part was, if people don't want to use the hit dice, there is regular dice at the table. However, when you're rolling on defense, if you don't want to use hit dice, then you have to use your own time.
Yeah, so now granted, if you just have 2 at 2 and you're going to grab 2 regular dice and roll them, that's different. But if you're going to sit there and go, here are my 1s. Here's my 2s. The timer needs to be on your timer. It's not,
Makes sense, yeah.
Because you should just be able to do it in one roll. You don't have to do it in one roll. That's totally cool. You can do whatever you want on your time, whatever. But when it's on someone else's time, if you choose to go the long route, you got to click the timer for you. Even if it's only being set up 30 seconds or 45 seconds. You do that every single battle, I mean, that's going to add up to 10, 15 minutes easily in an 8 round game. So,
because some guys don't like using the hit dice, so
Yeah.
in the option.
No, you know, I don't always use a hit dice either. If I'm sitting at the little area and I grab my, you know, there's no hit dice next to me, but somebody just rolled a convoy or something and they're sitting over there, I'll just, you know, if I have 3 at 2 to roll, I'll grab the regular dice and just roll it.
You should also mention Siren also this year has added some wooden dice to the same color palette as before.
Yes, we have 4 tables with wooden dice, 2 tables with the acrylic dice. There are 2 reasons why I wanted to do wood, and I've been talking about doing wood ever since after BB2, and I just never had time to do it. The first reason is there was no plastic dice during the era that we're playing our game, and I wanted to try to be more authentic for the field. But secondly, and it's actually kind of more importantly, when people roll the hit dice with the plastic, and they're tumbling around, and you got those couple extra like that didn't roll correctly, and you have to re-roll. I've seen people do this so fast. They roll the dice quickly once and grab the other ones, roll those things really hard to try and hit other dice that were technically misses, and try to re-hit them so they roll again, and or just try to throw the dice into the whole crowd because they had a really crappy roll, and they try to alter the roll, thinking that you didn't see the roll already. And I saw that at BB2, and you can't do that with wooden dice. There's not enough thrust in those dice to manipulate the other dice that have already landed.
Fair enough.
And while we're talking about dice, I do want to talk about the rolling etiquette. We have each side. There's the axis side, or whoever. There's 2 rolling sides. It don't matter which side you're rolling. But when you roll your dice, if you're using the hit dice, if you're going to do the 1s, 2s, and 3s, this probably won't work out as well. But if you roll the hit dice, I highly recommend once you roll, you don't touch them, especially on high battles. Because how many battles have you ever been in where somebody rolls a dice? Oh, I got 12 hits. Okay, and they pick up the dice again. How many hits was it?
Oh my God.
Was it 11? Was it 10?
It's the worst.
And when you both don't remember what it was because you're thinking about your casualties so long.
Yeah.
When you both don't remember, that's a problem. If you didn't even touch those dice, you would know because you would just go there and look at them again. Because you're not going to roll in the same tray. You have the attacker tray. You have a defender tray. So when you roll the dice out and they're all laying there, just don't even touch them until their casualties are all picked and everything is said and done. Leave the dice. Otherwise, I mean, if you guys both can't remember, there's not a judgment I can do on you guys. You know what I mean? It's just
we're gonna let Joe decide.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to arm wrestle it or rock paper scissors of it or something. You know.
Joe's gonna bring out the special rule book, make a determination.
You know, I told you my recommendation, and if you don't want to do that recommendation, I can't help you. You know, I can tell you this: if anybody gets in an argument over it, you're probably gonna end up leaving. So if you do disagree on anything, I suggest you keep it down to a minimal. And you're gonna have to you're gonna have to agree to disagree and just pick a number of what that hit was.
Yeah.
And move on.
We never mentioned we're having happy hour right now, so cheers.
Oh, that is correct.
Official drink. And the reason we're having a drink is because we just spent about 2 hours making sure that all the nations had the appropriate amount of pieces at each table. So we went through, I don't know, thousands of pieces.
Yeah, thank you, Gelso, for that.
So I guess the rule is don't be grabbing pieces from other tables.
Yes, especially this year, because 2 of these tables of pieces aren't mine. So you really can't take pieces from other tables, and I'm not going to tell you which 2 tables are not mine. So you can be like, oh, these are Cyrus tables. I can pull for these 2 tables. You're not going to know whose table you're playing on, and you're not going to know whose other tables they are, because I do not want the pieces mixed up. I hate every single year I have to sit there because I'll go to set up put the trays out. This one has no artillery. This one's missing half the infantry.
Yep.
I hate it. It takes up so much time every year. Now, just like last year, we do have overflow bins.
Oh yeah, show the overflow bins. Yeah.
So if you need something, get it out of this. Once this is depleted, I can't help you. You're gonna have to use chips. And that was it for the pieces, I think.
We're talking about, the other one was naval blockade.
Okay, so the there's actually 3 rule clarifications. One, you all know, it was supposed to be in book in BB4. I forgot to put it in the book again. But when it comes time to buy your tech dice, like you screwed up, you didn't roll the 6. And now you have to roll a 5 or a 6. And at that time, you buy your tech dice. In BB1, 2, and 3, it was you buy as many dice as you want. In BB4, it changed, which is on the website. It does say it changed. The max is 10. I forgot to get it in the rule book this year. It still says you can buy as many as you want.
So it's 10.
But I'm telling you right now, you may not buy as many as you want. So if this argument comes up because the book says this, we're overriding the book. But I don't think we'll have that problem
on
because
France turn 1, no technology.
yeah, there's no. I think I got that in the book. I'm pretty sure that the France loophole is fixed. So just 10 as max on dice.
And to clarify, to talk about the convoy, was a scenario where you had ships coming from different sea zones, and they were attempting to make through a naval blockade. But the ships that were basically, that was their maximum movement. They could not be declared as blocked because that was their maximum movement.
Correct. So during the naval blockade, it says choose your blocked units. Well, if you're out of gas, you're not blocked. You can't units that. I mean, I don't know how to word it in the book, but it says choose your blocked units. Like, so if you have gas, I can block you. If you're out of gas, you can't pick them for block because they're out of gas. So I'm not, the book says choose your block units. I'm just going to leave it at that. You're not blocked if you don't have any movement spaces left.
Makes sense.
You've exhausted your movement. You're not blocked. You're as far as you can go.
Before we started this video, Sarah went over and showed me what he meant, and I wasn't quite sure, but when I saw it actually on the map, it made a lot more sense, and it's definitely a ruling that would be hard to explain in the rule book.
Yeah, and so if you're trying to run a blockade with your transports and your cruiser or whatever, and you pick ships that could only move 2, and they just barely made it to the blockade, they can't be chosen as blocked because they're not blocked. If you have somebody coming in from a naval base that exhausts their fuel at 3, you can't choose them as blocked because they're not blocked. They're out of gas. Yeah. They have to have a movement value left. So I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what the book says, but the book does say choose your blocked units, and I don't know how you could misinterpret being blocked if you can't go anymore anyways. Yeah,
you can't be. Essentially, that's I guess the easiest rule of thumb is if you can't go any further, you cannot be blocked.
Yeah. So I'll try and reword that for the next version. I mean, I think we're done really at 5. Maybe we just have to bump it to 5.3 or something. But because really, when I change a version, there's always something new happening. Nothing really new happened in 5 to 4. It's just kind of fixing some of the things in 4. So actually, technically we could probably be like a 4.8 or something right now. But either way, it's easier to keep track of the events.
When it's a 5 designation, you're a 5. Yeah.
So, but just so you know, if you're thinking you can do that, if you think you found that loophole, you did not find that loophole. You cannot choose a unit blocked if they've exhausted their movement spaces because they are not actually blocked.
I'm laughing because I'm sure there's going to be a rule or two over the next 3 days where somebody finds a loophole.
Well, I always try to cover them. I'm trying to cover the couple right now that I knew about floating in the air before tomorrow's event.
But in the event there is that loophole that's discovered, because I think the question was asked. That obviously, Sarah is the tournament director. You have the final call, right?
Yeah.
And if that happens, what should people do with their timer if they need a rule clarification?
The timers never stop. I'm not stopping my timer to go to your table and see what's going on. So you're not going to stop your timer while my timer is running.
Gotcha.
If my timer is going to run, your timer is
So
going
there you go. So if you need a rule clarification,
I'm losing just as much time as you are.
Yeah.
So I suggest we just get to the bottom of it as quickly as possible.
We'll call it truce. We're not going to argue about this one IPC bonus or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean,
is it really
or
worth it?
you could also too. I mean, okay, is it that important this second? No. Sire, can you come over here? I'll be there in a minute. Okay, well, that's fine. Just set that aside for a minute and finish the other crap you're doing. And when I come back, we'll figure it out in like 5 seconds.
Makes sense.
You know, we don't have to sit there and wait for me or hang on. What's going to happen next? I'm sure there's something else you could be doing. Otherwise, it wouldn't be your turn anymore because you have collected your income and went on.
Makes sense.
So there's something else you could be doing in that meantime.
Thinking of another thing we discussed was the Lend-lease.
The Lend-lease. Okay, I want to clarify the Lend-lease. Lend-lease was originally, if there was a ship, an enemy ship, in that Lend-lease zone, it automatically negated the Lend-lease. I thought that was too easy because you just put a ship there, a sub, whatever, it was negated. So we changed it to rolling, and it was 1 dice per ship.
Yeah.
And
so it's different than a convoy disruption.
Yeah.
So it's not submarine gets 2 dice.
Yeah, and it's not planes. Planes don't get to do it. And the reason I'm going over this is because I did talk to some of you about changing it, so it was kind of on the side, on the same lines as a convoy, where the subs would get 2 dice and this and that. I do not want to do that because the whole point of making it so it wasn't negated automatically was so you would have to spend more money on ships to get there.
Yeah.
If you're getting 2 dice for that 1 sub, you probably don't need to do any more ships there, which ruins the whole point of me wanting to put more than 1 ship there.
Yeah.
So
like
it's already not consistent with convoy because planes don't get to participate anyways.
Yeah.
So the Lend-lease, it is 1 dice per, that's how it is in the book too.
That's what it says in the book.
That's what it says in the book. I just want to clarify because
Yeah.
there was talks about changing it, and I don't know if those people, because I was pretty much 90% on board to change it, and then when more I thought about it, it was defeating the purpose of what I originally wanted,
Yeah.
was for you to spend more money on ships to stop that Lend-lease. So just wanted to let those people know I didn't do what we talked about doing at the very end. So
There was some discussion about possible rule changes.
There was change. We were talking about changing it.
And not every possible discussion made it into the rule book.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I thought hard about it, and it just how it is in the book, 1 dice per ship. You got to roll 3 or less.
Yeah.
Is the
Makes
ruling?
sense.
That is the correct way.
Yeah.
The way it is in the book. So to my knowledge, the only error in the book is the income tracker, or the not the income tracker, the rolling for dice.
Gotcha.
It still says you can roll
Yeah.
as many as you want.
Yeah. So if you know your capital is going to get taken, you can't spend.
You can't. Yeah, you can't save up to you can't save up to buy dice, right? Which was awesome. I love it. I love loopholes. Some of them are the best. I love.
People are creative.
I love it. I know it makes me.
One little word or punctuation, or even interpretation of a paragraph, and even how you pause to breathe can change.
Yeah, no,
how it's interpreted.
I love it. I think there's some crafty devils out there that cracks me up sometimes. Sometimes they're just so freaking funny. Like last year, playing Pagan, Lieutenant Dan, and Jeff, they were allies and we were axis. And last year we just started the Amnesty.
Oh yes, the Vichy.
And we had the Vichy going on, and the book said if you had to kill the Vichy guy,
you had to just kill it.
Yeah. So they were sending bombers over trying to bomb it, and it was like, what the heck? But I let it slide because that was what the book said. But that's not what the book says any longer.
Yeah,
you have to retake the territory now.
We were sitting there cringing because eventually we knew they were going to.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? But I think did they miss every single time?
They missed a couple times, and then they ended up getting it.
Did they end up getting it?
They flipped it back,
that bomber went by over every turn, and you and I are both like, no.
We started buying. I remember we started buying AA guns to rail to like Normandy and to try and get them the flyover shot. But we kept missing. So.
Oh man! But so that loophole was fixed.
That's pretty funny. These things you remember, right?
I know.
Yeah.
So I guess let's get to. I guess we're at the etiquette now, right?
Etiquette. Yeah.
Okay, so as far as etiquette in my home, we'll start there. this is a big difference than being at the shop we were in California. In California, at the shop, whatever. I mean, at that moment in time, you guys were players.
Yep.
Okay. Now you are guests in my house. Okay, it's a big difference. So, if you know, being disrespectful to any of my guests is, I'm going to take it very personally, is disrespectful to me, to my home, to Wendy, and to not just the person you're having a conflict with, but everybody here. Okay, everybody here, it means a lot to me and is my guest. Okay, they're not just like some guy coming over to hang out. Okay, this is big difference being in my home. Yeah. And so I have no problem. I don't care how much money you spent to come here to tell you to leave.
That's fair enough.
If I have to tell you to leave, you will never be invited back. That doesn't mean I hate you. Just means you're not coming back to my house.
Nope.
Okay.
So yes, sometimes your emotions, people, whatever, they get a bad dice roll, whatever it is.
I just want to tell you, it is just a game.
Yeah.
We all have bad dice rolls. We all get pissed off, but you have to really. I'm not saying bottle in. I'm not saying keep you trapped up and you blow up the next day about something. I mean, you can step outside.
Yeah. Go for a walk. Cool
yeah,
off.
You could. You know, you can be unhappy and not be disrespectful to anybody at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be disrespectful to anybody because you had a bad roll.
Was there going to be a minor here, like a?
There was. There was going to be a 7-year-old child here, but that is no longer the case.
Okay.
So we don't have to watch our language so much, but it would be nice, keep it moderate.
There you go.
You know,
so if the odd F-bomb happens, you're not going to get sent home.
Correct.
You asked to try and
correct.
Be professional.
Yeah,
right?
I cuss a lot.
Yeah.
Just try not to yell it as loud as you possibly can. So that's it. You have to respect everybody.
Yep.
And everything. It's very important. We have a pretty close group.
I would say we're like a family, like the BB.
Yeah. And like I said, you disrespect a member of the family is a disrespect to all of us.
Yeah.
And it'll probably the rest of the family isn't going to want you here anymore.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And if the family doesn't want you here, you're not coming here.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. And remember, it is just a game.
Yeah.
It's just a game, man. You know what? We have 12 teams. 9 of us are going home as losers. Okay.
Yeah.
We have 9 teams going home as losers. Okay. That's a lot of.
And you know what? Maybe the person that leaves here with that has the most laughs is actually the true winner.
Yeah. I mean,
the gold is just the gold, right?
Yeah. I mean, just.
So really.
I mean, we didn't play the medal round last year.
No.
And did we care? No. It's just a game.
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
Yeah. And you've medaled before in events. I did well.
Yeah, you did too.
In St. Louis, and I can tell you that it's not always about winning. Even though we're here to be competitive, but yeah, like have some laughs.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to cut loose and.
Yeah. Have fun, joke. So now that's the etiquette for my home. I guess let's talk about the etiquette. Oh, one more thing about the home. There is only one bathroom here. Only one bathroom that you have access to. Okay, as much as you are my guest, your access is limited to this section of the house. So there is only one bathroom here. There's 2 things about the bathroom. It's a down. We are below grade toilet. That means it up flushes. Okay. I usually go over this at the event, but might as well just do it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is no way to plunge that toilet if you decide to stuff it with a whole roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Okay, it can't happen. So what you have to do is, if you're having a bad experience in there, you have to just like wipe, flush, let it do its thing. Wipe, flush, let it do its thing.
Yeah.
You just can't pile in there. There is no way to plunge that toilet. It would all have to come apart. And
we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and then that means you guys are taking dumps out there in the backyard, with leaves. Okay, so and that's the first part. There is no shame when you have to double flush or triple flush.
No.
We've all done it. So don't be in there embarrassed thinking that I think I can get a couple more wipes in there and I'm only going to flush once. Please don't.
And obviously, no paper towel. So if you go on,
yes, don't use the hand. Do not put the hand towels in there. The hand towels.
There'll be extra rolls of toilet paper, obviously.
Yeah, I'll stock it up. We're gonna go shopping today before we go out to dinner.
Yeah.
So that's the first rule about toilet. Please don't ruin it for all of us. Okay. And then the second thing.
I'm only joking, but if you plug the toilet, you're not invited back. I'm kidding.
It made me miserable. So there's that. And the next thing too is, since there is only the one bathroom, don't be on there on your cell phone. You know, just go in there and get out. You know what I mean? Don't go in there and take a break. Okay. Look at where we're sitting. Come here and take a break. Okay.
Were these chairs here last year?
No. This whole area wasn't even really.
So there's been some. I took a video earlier and I sent it in the chat. But the key area is that Siren's done some really cool modifications to the room. I think you guys are going to be blown away with some of the additions. It's every time we come, there's more stuff. And this year, I'm blown away. This year, all the stuff he's done, all the hard work, and really, talking to him. This is his work area, off BBR tournament time. So this whole area was basically created for the tournament. Yeah. So just want to say thank you to Cyrus for making the space for us to play this game.
You're welcome. So that wrapped up the toilet. No paper towels in there. Triple flush, quadruple flush, whatever you gotta do to make that experience better for all of us. Yeah. Okay. And then just don't be in there hanging out. Yeah. Just you need a rest. Just do right here. That's it. Yeah. Now we can get to the game plan etiquette. This is where gameplay really has to change for everybody, and I think implementing these rules will save a lot of issues. And so let's just dive into it. We kind of went over it already with the rolling. Yeah. When you roll a dice, leave it there. Yeah. Until they pick their card.
You don't want to be the guy that rolls awesome. Yeah. And you clear your dice, and then your opponents didn't see it, and they go. You said you had how many hits, and there was no witnesses.
Nope. Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? Yeah. If you didn't leave it there, that's on you. Yeah. You'll either if you guys don't come to an agreement, you're gonna be rolling it again. Yeah. Nothing. I can't help you if you got 20 hits out of 24 dice. If you I call it roll and swoop. There was this guy Doug. I used to call it Doug dice because he would do that.
Yeah, sometimes it's a reaction, right? Well, you're not even meaning to do it.
He would roll a dice. He would roll a dice. I got 3 hits. Dude, I didn't even see the dice land on the thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, anyways, we went over that already with just the dice. When you are placing your pieces, they need to be done so in an orderly fashion. Yes, yeah. Before you click your turn over. They need to be set up in an orderly fashion. I need to be able to sit there and know, okay, that's the artillery stack, that's the infantry stack, that's the tank stack. Yeah. Now, on top of that, if you have more than 20 units in any territory or sea zone, you must acknowledge to the table what you have. You just can't be like, if you and me are talking and they place your units, okay, I'm done. Well, if there's a big stack, you have to tell me. Yeah. And what happens if you don't? And I go to attack that, and there's like 25 units. You know how many units you have now? You have 20 now, because you didn't declare how many units you had.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
So,
and you can make it easier by either stacking your chips under your pieces or keeping them organized. But in a big pile where you've got infantry on their side or whatever, and fighters tucked underneath.
That's kind of like dirty playing. Everything needs to be perfectly visible. Yeah. You need to, and if it said 20 or more.
Yeah. And
you need to be.
Guys like Detroit like to have the actual pieces. All the rifles pointed the same way.
That's totally fine.
Guys like Corporal 24, they've got a big stack of chips.
However you want to do it, it's just you have to acknowledge what is there. Yeah. So, for example, I go to attack you because you didn't say anything. Well, I assume there's less than 20 units. Yeah. If I go to attack you and there's like freaking 25 units, I mean, really that your etiquette is pretty bad. I mean, you're gonna have to take off some units for it to make 20. Yeah. Because that's fair enough. That's on you for not doing it. Yeah. It's almost like you were trying to get away with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And hiding what you have. Now, I also recommend you keep a tactical notebook. Yep. So when those high numbers are called out, you can write down, best raid has 20 guys, 2 tanks, 1 artillery.
Yep.
You know, that way, you don't have to waste your time counting it, and
everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. It's the games are on the up and up.
Yeah. So for example, you got your notebook, you've got your task force markers out, you've got a big fleet, you know, X amount of destroyers, X amount of cruisers, battleships.
And that it helps not just because of, I don't want to call it dirty gameplay, but it helps also too. What if you bump over that stack of chips? Was that the artilleries or was that the tanks? Well, if you called it out and I wrote it down, dude, I can tell you, dude, you had 19 infantry, 3 artillery, and 2 tanks. You can fix all the chips and put it all back together.
Everybody not to stack, not to chip their fighters.
Yeah. So I mean, it's to help the clean gameplay.
Clean it up.
It's
ultimately it speeds up the gameplay.
It does, because I don't have to sit there and be wondering how many pieces I have.
And it goes both ways.
Yeah, you don't have to remember. Wait, what did I have there again?
Yeah.
So it just helps everybody be on the same page on what is there.
Yeah.
It's nice and clean.
It's kind of good sportsmanship, right?
Yeah, it's what it's about. It's just kind of a sport to us, and we want good sportsmanship.
Yeah. That's fair.
So there's that. The other thing was when you collect income, you must. I can't say you must, because if you don't, you don't. But I guess you should must. You just when it's the end of your turn, you need to tell the table what you are collecting, and that's because you are no longer going to be able to back pay yourself. If you forgot an NO, you do not get to collect it on the next turn.
The next turn, I forgot to grab this NO, certain NO. Yeah.
Don't matter, because the minute you say how much you made, the table is pretty much agreeing with you. That's how much you should have made.
And you might be planning your turn based on a nation having so much income.
And then now I didn't collect this NO for the past 2 turns. I don't care. It's up for you to know the rules.
It's not up to your opponents to correct you, but you've announced it. So
you announce it, and I recommend your tactical notebook. You keep track of everybody's income.
To clarify, every table is going to have the cards. So everyone's going to have cards to know their NOs for your nation. It's everybody's responsibility as a team. If we're teammates, sometimes maybe before you announce it, you clarify your NOs with your teammates.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look.
Yeah,
I gave you the tools to use. Yeah. But there'd be none of that. I forgot to collect this 2 turns in a row. I'm sorry. You know, you don't get it.
What about a scenario where, you know how sometimes in a more friendly gameplay, you forget to do something and your teammate, says, you know what, or your opposition says no problem, but then later on in the game you make a small error. Is that up to each table to police themselves?
I don't mind that, I guess, but I'm given the rulings now. So for example, I forgot to click my NO, and I'm like, I don't care. Because I don't have to care, because I've already said you can't get that NO.
Speaking of forgetting things, a lot of guys do this when they do their battles, is they mark them all first. They flip the roundels over, or whatever they are, and they have a red dot on the other side.
Correct.
And they mark all the territories they want to attack. So say, for example, you've declared, say, 5 attacks, and you only rolled 4 of them. And it's at the end of your turn, or whatever, and you go, oh, obviously I marked it, we forgot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the guys are all going to be mashed together. I mean, your guys are going to be in there. You have to complete the battle.
So in order to avoid where you just completely forget, recommend that everybody mark their battles before.
Yeah, because if it's not marked,
you can't go back. Yeah.
It would be very questionable. Now, in a friendly game, I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? But for this weekend, especially if I knew that battle was not in my favor, and you forgot it, and it was not marked, you are not doing that battle.
You forgot to take Berlin or Moscow or Tokyo.
I go, that just means you screwed up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And you don't have to give, like, you don't have to be the nice guy. You have to be nice.
No,
but you don't have to be the nice guy and be like, okay, go ahead and collect your NOs. Oh, go ahead and do that. Now, if you're collecting your money and you see that chip there, roll it. I mean, it's still your turn. Yeah. But that's another thing too. At the end of your turn, I mean, you kind of scan the area.
And that's where I think it's nice. When you're in a team setting, your teammate, got to help each other out, right? Oh, you forgot to do this. have your teammate look it over.
Yeah.
Don't be in a rush to conclude your turn.
Yeah, even though we get the timers,
Yeah.
don't be in that rush.
Spend that extra 30 seconds or a minute scanning the table to look it over. Yeah.
So what else we got for the conduct? I think those were the important ones. The pieces, the collecting income.
Now, remember you said lunchtime. The clocks are not going to stop for lunch.
No, the clocks never get
So
paused.
whose time is running when everybody's having lunch? You just have lunch at your own accord. Maybe when the other team's doing whatever they're doing, and you coordinate with your teammate. I'm going to grab a bite. I'm going to grab a cigarette. Whatever it is.
You grab your food. You come back to the table.
Yeah.
It only takes a second. I mean,
There you go.
You know.
So everybody knows.
I
in
could be
advance.
like, dude, go get our food. I got this. You know?
Nobody's going to be disappearing to go run off to Subway or
There is
something.
no leave. I mean, no. If you leave, you leave.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
leave,
just saying,
yeah.
you probably not gonna be like out of the driveway the way I told you how to park.
Yeah. So if you've got to take an important phone call or whatever it is, the clock is always going to run.
The clock always runs. That is because we need to stop at a specific time.
Yeah.
Because we have to break down. We have to reset up for the next day to do it again. So I guess we can Saturday. So Saturday tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh man. So tomorrow we will be starting at 8:30. Timers start at 8:30 whether you here are
So
here
what time
or
are
not.
people allowed to come tomorrow?
You are allowed to come here by 7 a.m. You
Tomorrow morning.
can come here to set up. So we're not setting everybody's pieces up.
No, everyone's got to set up their own
It
pieces.
would take us 5 hours, or we can do it as a collective in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you can come here at 7 a.m. Now, you're going to probably be the first people here. Either you're going to drive to the very front, where I told you. Where's the net? Oh, yeah, oh.
There you go.
So either being first ones here, either you're gonna drive all the way up, or you're gonna park next to that telephone pole. Okay, so first one's here. You plan on bugging out early. You might want to,
Park on the street,
because
but in front of the house.
Correct. Now, and that's another thing. 7 o'clock, we're all done. Okay, so there's not like car number 4 got done and they want to leave, but they're stuck here till 10 o'clock, or they gotta wait. We all should be done pretty much at the same time. We're all going to set the tables back up.
So we're starting.
And then we're all going to go eat.
We're starting at 8:30. It's 11 and a half hours for the clock, so we're done actually at.
No, we'll be done at it's 5.5 per.
There you go.
So it's 11 hours. So we'll be done tomorrow at 7:30.
There you go.
And that's only because we're starting a little bit late, because we do have a few late arrivals.
The people who fly the red
And
eye.
they still may not even make it here by 8:30,
Yeah.
but the timers will start at 8:30 regardless. And also too, tonight we're going out. I don't know if you guys are gonna get drunk, gonna be hanging out all night. I want to make sure. Plus, you guys are flying in.
Yeah.
If you know it's only gonna take you 15, 20 minutes to set up, and get here at 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can get here at 7. Now, I think we're done talking about the etiquette.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah. I think
It's just the collecting income. You need to announce what you're collecting,
Yeah.
and you also need to announce your carryover. I am UK. I collected 15 total with my
Yeah.
NOs, and I had 3 left over. I have a total of 17.
Gotcha. Yeah.
In that way,
And if you're China and you announce you're collecting 100 IPC, and no one calls you out on it.
right. So
maybe that's the loophole. That
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, so as you move on, you're kind of all acknowledging, like, even when I play, if I notice somebody didn't collect the NO, even as my opponent, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
And I'll even do that tomorrow. I want to, if I you missed the NO, like, dude, you're supposed to get 3 for that. I'll tell you if I notice it. And that's another thing too about why I don't want to have any other dice come in. I can easily look over and be like, dude, you're rolling the wrong dice. I don't have to think about it. Dude, you should be rolling blues, not the reds. It saves so much problems having to re-roll, or you rolled the wrong dice. Are we supposed to do this battle all over again? It's just we've had the same color scheme. This is the 5th year running now. So I mean, most of us
know by heart. Yeah.
None of us can look over, dude, that's the wrong dice, without even thinking about it.
Yep.
And so another thing too, I do have a fridge here, but it is for what I put in it. So if you show up with your Bud Light or whatever, it's going to be warm Bud Light unless you want a glass with ice, because I do not have room. I don't have a fridge for you to bring your stuff.
Yep.
You can bring whatever you want, but it's not going in my fridge, because my fridge is always fully stocked, and it's what I put in it. There's that.
So there's beverages, there'll be
Yeah, all that stuff's good. So if
there'll be
you
snacks here.
but if you need your whatever, you know, you could always get like a $3 styrofoam ice chest at the Walmart or something. Fill it full of ice and have your thing here all day.
Yeah.
I do have ice machine. I got the cups. You can always pour it into a glass of ice, but I don't recommend pouring Budweiser in a glass of ice. So there is that.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I think we're kind of.
Covered it all.
You got your notepad?
No.
We got.
You know what? Let me go grab it.
Just to make sure before we sign off.
We signed off. No, we got it all. Yeah, we made a notes last night on what we should cover today. So I think we got it all covered. Yeah. Yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody, the guys tonight and guys tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, then Sunday. Sunday we'll be starting at 8, not 8:30. The only reason, like I said, tomorrow is a little bit later. 8 will be on Sunday. We're out of here. We're done by 7, cleaning up and then going out.
Yep.
I think these time frames help us all go out. I mean, last year we had, I think almost every single one of us went out to dinner. Yeah, we had the whole row going all down the restaurant. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was like 25 of us.
Yeah, just all sitting together. That was awesome. We all out of here at the same time. Yeah. We all booked it and got over there.
And then kind of like on day 1, everybody wants to know matchups for day 2. So if your game finishes a little bit early, you know, maybe you set up a table, maybe whatever.
Yeah.
Socialize with the guys, have a drink, but pretty much, you know, everybody kind of wraps up together.
Yeah.
So it's not like your car is at the front of the pile and you want to leave. Well, that happens. Maybe it's gonna happen.
Everybody's not far behind you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you know, if you're staying around for a half hour, 45 minutes, you could have set your table up. You can. Like I said, you could be at the bar drinking. You could be sitting right here, waiting for everybody to get done.
Yep.
Lots you could be playing Mortal Kombat. You could be playing Golden Axe, Miss Pac-Man or something.
There you go. Yeah. If you need little things for people to do. Yeah. So.
Well, I wish everybody luck tomorrow.
Cheers, guys.
Like I said, we're heading out now. We're going to go to Los Arcos in Hiram.
Yep.
So if you didn't get the chat or you didn't get the text, that's where we're heading out. We'll be there at 7:30. So we got a couple hours left. This will. By the time this goes live, which will probably be a half hour to upload, we'll be up 2 hours away from going.
There you go.
So Jeremy and I now we're gonna set up our table, and we're gonna start planning.
Oh yeah,
what we're gonna do.
We're allies, so we're gonna be on the defensive.
What are we gonna do
How are we gonna stop this?
Parker and Brian? Yeah. So we're gonna be doing that right now. So thanks everybody.
Cheers. Yeah.
And
We'll
yes, great. Oh, one more thing. I didn't do any videos. I didn't do any advertising for this event. 0. It's not posted in one section. It's not on Facebook. It's not even on the Cyberblood website. It's not on HBG. Well, if it is, I didn't put it in these places.
Yeah.
I didn't do one video, and this is, you know, the biggest event I've ever had. Coming here. I mean,
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. And people have found out about it. You know.
Yeah.
Word of mouth. Rumors,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and pretty much everybody from last year is coming back.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to be grandfathered in.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's how it pretty much goes. It's like come Monday, everyone's be like, okay, you got me down for next year. Okay, yeah, you guys leave and I'm booked.
There you go. Yeah. People are already counting down the days to the following BBR6 before BBR5 even ends.
Yeah, it is. It happened. It's been going on now for a while. It's just.
And it's always the last weekend of September, so it's easier for people to know the last actual weekend is September.
Which I should have made it the first weekend of October, because man, I wish I had just one more week to just like finish this and finish that, you know. But it's all good.
Well, I've seen, you know, Cyrud's home, because I'm staying here with Cyrud, but some of the stuff he's done, I mean, everything's top notch. So
thank you.
Everything's top notch. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll probably see most of you watching in a couple hours.
Yeah.
So, cheers.
We'll see everybody soon. Cheers.
Yep.
Yeah.